Hello, everybody. This is Sandy Lerman again, and I have another special guest to talk to you today. This is Laura Collin. She is from British Columbia, Canada, and I'm very excited to have her come to talk to you about her experiences as a graduate of our programs. She is a trauma-informed specialist. She's certified, and she's also certified as a parent coach, certified parent coach, and certified educational trainer. She's a fantastic educator and very passionate about this work. So welcome, Laura. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I just invited you to come on because you are I've told you several times, you're one of our most outstanding students. And I know you are just super passionate about this work, and you really have been for years. I know in your own work as an educator, you were already seeing that some of the things that we do in schools just weren't working for some of the kids that you work with. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, and how you came across Heartstrong and what made you want to join the program?
For sure. My background is working with special needs children in a school district. I started out way back working with special needs kids in preschool, and integrating them into from the Ministry of Children and Families into preschools when they were just coming out with integrating special needs kids into those kind of programs. I moved then on to a preschool that I opened myself and had special needs children into that, and then moved to special ed in school district. I've worked with high needs children for 25 plus years in the school district, and have thoroughly enjoyed it, but slowly but surely saw that there had to be more ways to help these children that were not within the boundaries of what the school says we can and cannot do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what are some things that you have done for the children, and how did that kind of connect to the work that we do here at Heartstrong?
So when I have worked with, in particular, I'll give you a story of one
Yeah.
particular child who came into our program with into kindergarten, and he was nonverbal, autistic, and from my first little red flags and instincts, there was some trauma there. I often don't read the IEPs when I have children come in. I'd rather know and notice myself first, because working with children like that, they are just children. We need to just look at them for who they are, not for what's written on their piece of paper.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, going through with him, found out later on that his trauma was quite severe, and decided to go off the rails as far as the way we normally in the school district work with these kids, and just be with him. But I didn't have enough, I don't think, education on just trauma. I had lots and lots of experience with special needs children, but education in specific trauma informed practices, I did not have enough. So I ended up seeing online Sandy's program and set up an interview with you. And we chatted for quite a while the very first time. And her program looked amazing and exactly where I wanted to go. So I signed up.
Awesome. Yes. Kindred spirits for sure. It sounds like you fell into this work in a lot of ways similar to how I did, which is that I had a heart for special kids and kids who were a little different and a little bit outside the box. And I knew intuitively that they needed a different approach, but I didn't have all that research and the specific strategies. So, well, I'm glad that you found me, and I'm glad that we had that talk and that you joined us. So when you came into the program, what was it about this program when you were looking at getting some more training? What was different about Heartstrong, or what really stood out to you to make you make the decision to join the program?
I think initially, after speaking with you, the Heartstrong acronym was where I was coming from intuitively, and wanted to know the processes in which you fit those into your program. So, using the honesty, empathy, going through all of those is what how I wanted to work with children, and wanted to go, hey, how does she do this? So that kind of is what's made me want to come to it.
That's awesome. And so did you find that you said you were looking for more research and you were looking for more strategies? Did you find those in the program? What are some of the things that you found to be valuable to you as an educator?
The most valuable, I think, is, I mean, there's so many, but the most valuable I feel was the brain science first, to understand actually how these littles, um, and everyone really, how the brain science of trauma works and where their brain goes when this happens. And having just that initial information was like, whoa, I
It
didn't know
makes a
that, and I
difference,
should have
doesn't
known
it?
that.
And I
Yeah,
think I don't know about for you, but for me, it created more compassion in me for the children, because once you really get that, once you really understand that it's really not purposeful behavior, they're really not trying to give you a hard time, they're just having a hard time, they're just, their brains are in a, they're having a brain attack, really.
right, right.
And so if we approach them with all of these punitive systems that have nothing to do with the nervous system, it doesn't make any sense, right? So I'm glad that
Exactly.
you found that helpful.
Yeah. It really changed the way, um, I looked at every behavior that happened in the classroom, be it, special needs children or just all the rest. We all have special needs in some way. And I felt that once I had just that beginning information, right at the beginning of the program, I looked at everything in a different way and all children in a different way, to make have that empathy and have that, compassion, to go, oh, they don't know this skill yet, or they can't do this skill yet, or they haven't been exposed to that skill yet, or their brain is in a different space and can't absorb that skill. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and that reminds me of, I know when you did your practicum, so you did the whole program. You did both the beginning course, which is all the theory and how it works in the classroom and with families, and then you did the advanced course, which is the practicum with parent coaching and training. And I know you worked with some parents who really didn't get the brain science. And what was your experience with that? Like giving them that information, did that help them, and how did
oh,
that go?
absolutely. The one of the parents, that I worked with, or the set of parents that I worked with, the mom and dad, they had no clue about the brain science, and that the meltdown of this child was because she didn't have the skills, and that she wasn't in a space to actually hear what you were telling her to do. And it blew their mind, and they were like, oh my gosh, both parents were in tears,
Yeah.
because they realized that they weren't being empathetic to their, or compassionate to her feelings, and her lack of ability to absorb what they were saying.
Yeah, and from what I gather, from what you've told me, it sounds like they've really made a 180-degree turn and they've changed a lot of the things they're doing. So what are some successes that you're seeing from that and
Oh
talking?
my god, they have changed, everything about what how they deal with their little one.
It's fantastic.
They sit and wait with her, to be there for her, rather than saying, giving her examples of what she could do. Well, you could do this if you get up now, we will give you this, or giving her ultimatums. What they don't give her ultimatums anymore. They don't give her, that if you do this, you can do this. Um, they sit and wait for her to be finished her emotions, and
Yeah,
it's amazing to watch.
it really just in talking to you when we had our feedback session and you shared your your recording and everything. It's just I could see they're moving from that sort of cognitive understanding to a heart-based, really connected relationship with this child, and understanding, that that is the key, like really being that heart-to-heart connection, and understanding that what she's going through, and not just worrying about the parental agenda, that I call it. So you did a fantastic job with that client, by the way.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit more, like what are some other things about the program that made you feel like it was helpful to you, or what are some things that you learned? And then what would you tell folks who are thinking about joining the program?
Well, what I learned filled my whole brain with a whole way of thinking. I mean, it's so hard to say exactly specifically what I learned, but
Yeah, because it's
oh
8
my
months of
gosh,
training, right? So there's a lot.
there's a lot, but there all of these things that I did learn through this program. The parent coaching program is absolutely amazing. I never thought I could do it, but how could I be a parent coach? But the way Sandy teaches it, it's just like yes. After learning all the trauma information and skills, um, I can do this. It really made me change even my thinking of what I want to be when I grow up, or when the next portion of
I still
my,
don't know what I
my
want to be when I grow up. I know that feeling.
exactly, the next portion of my
Yeah, we all
career.
have new chapters, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, the parent coaching has changed my life and changed my whole view of what we should be doing with these children and these parents, and to try and incorporate that into the school systems, because we need to teach the parents and the teachers how this works, and grab a few people at a time and try to build a big team of people who think the same way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I just want to jump into that part of it too, because this program's a little different, that we do train parent coaches and educational trainers together. And so
Mhm.
many of the folks that join us are either both, they're either teachers and parents, or they're parents who are very active in the schools, or teachers who are very active working with families, right? So we get a
Mm.
lot of really interesting dialogue between those groups. But tell us about your work in the schools. So you not only did you do the parent coach practicum, and you're making a huge, profound difference in the lives of children and families, you're also working in the schools. Tell me
Yes.
about your experience as an educational trainer and how that's been going.
So my educational trainer program was yet again another eye opener for an educator like I am, of how to use this information of trauma informed education, um, and bring it to the public, basically in the sense of the school system, and let them know what's going on in the newest stuff, brain science and trauma education. I have the opportunity to do a workshop in September for a school district, not my own, a different school district. They've now, I was originally going to do a 1 hour workshop for them on trauma, sorry, on brain-based science and all the new science that I've learned. And now they have decided that I am going to do a half-day workshop
Yeah.
instead, because they would like to have even more information. Originally, it was going to be for just the teachers that wanted it, and it was sent to the administrator, and the administrator wants the whole school to do it. So I feel very honored to do that in September.
Fantastic. And that's like, this is someone who just graduated, who's ready to go. She's out the door, and now she's being asked to come speak to schools. Folks, those of you who are thinking about joining this program, people are desperately looking for solutions for children who have trauma, which is pretty much all of our children, really. I mean, we're looking at the research, looking at the data. I think we're understanding more and more that so many of the behaviors that we see are related to adversity, trauma, the stress response. for a variety of reasons, right? And I don't think people are even aware that that's why. They don't even see that underlying cause. So Laura's been asked to do her training already, just as a brand new educational trainer.
Mm,
So there are opportunities out there for those of you who are looking for something new, and if you're really passionate about this work. So
absolutely. And
yeah.
it didn't take much for just someone who knew I was doing the program and shared my a few of my slides that I had done for my practicum
Mhm.
and showed it to our administrator. And I feel that once this school sees it, that administrator will probably share as well, and it can go from there. Like it was, I think it's going to be big myself.
Yes. Well, congratulations. I mean,
Thank you.
you are definitely one of our success stories. This is why you did the program so that you could get out there and make a difference, and you're already doing that. So I'm really, really excited. So, is there anything else you would say to someone who's on the fence, who's thinking, oh, I really would like to do it? It's kind of expensive. I'm not sure I have the time. Was it worth it for you, do you think?
Um, absolutely. I thought the same thing at first. The cost of it, I was going, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm working. I have kids that are in university, and I was like, I can't do this. And I felt like I needed to do it because it was so compelling to learn, to learn about the trauma part, seeing that in our districts and seeing it in our system, seeing it on the street or in the grocery store. Like the children are all around us, and they all have been, even if they don't have trauma, they've all been in a pandemic for 2 years, and there's lots going on. And I started this right at the beginning of the pandemic. I found your ad, and in March or April of the pandemic, and yeah, signed up right then. It is wonderful. It's worth the money. Absolutely. You can change your career if you are an educator and want to get out of the school system or get out of whatever educator system you're in. It
Mhm.
is a new career. I have, starting in September, I have the possibility of having a business um, opportunity to be a parent coach in a office.
Oh,
And it
fantastic.
was, yeah, it was presented to me. So yes, please join it. Do it for yourself. Do it to encourage your education, to upgrade some of your education and change the schools that you're in, change the discipline in the schools that you're in, change the way things are handled with these children that have behavior issues, because you'll never do it the same way again.
Thank you
And you,
for saying that. We are change makers. That's why our book club is the Trauma Informed Change Makers. All of you who join us, you get access to that book club. You get to be a part of that and meet all these other wonderful, passionate educators and parents who are all making a difference in their part of the world, because this really is a global movement for changing that paradigm. So thank you
ex-
for sharing that.
exactly. And
Yeah.
you also get lots of new friends, because I converse with my one of the students in my cohort about teaching and trauma and education, and I'm in Canada and she's in Michigan,
Yeah.
so we talk weekly, or if not more, about stuff that's going on. So you end up having such a cohort of like-minded people, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And I love the people that come to this program. I mean, I'm a little bit selective that way. Like most of the people that find me are already passionate about this, and that's why they want to be in the program. But we really want to make sure to continue to have that sort of family-like feeling where people feel really
Mhm.
comfortable and sharing. And we go pretty deep. Like we talk about some pretty heavy topics, and trauma is a heavy topic, but we try to make it enjoyable, and I try not to traumatize my cohort folks with too much to do, but they do have a lot of reading. I try to
You
make it
don't do. You don't.
comprehensive, but yet doable, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
And if you stay on top of things, with as far as the school work for the program, it doesn't take that much time to in your week. If you stay on it for, half an hour a day even, and that would do it. Or clump it together. But the time um, really depends on yourself, how much time you want to work work on it. If you want to spend a lot of time like I did, you can read more books, but the book list is reasonable that you have to read, and the assignments are right in the realm of the books and what we talk about on our Zooms. So it's certainly worth your time. If you're thinking, oh, I can't fit it in, you can, for sure.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here, but is there anything else that you would like to say in closing? And before we close, make sure to share how people could get in touch with you if they are looking for a parent coach or looking for a trainer, especially those who are in Canada who might want to have you come in person, maybe, or by
Absolutely. Absolutely.
people get in touch.
I would just first off love to just thank Sandy for her honesty and really heartstrong feelings that she shares with us throughout the program and has shared with me. I think at this point we have become friends, and I don't think we will ever really disconnect with each other after this program. So I know that part of it is what I want to share. For myself, I want to share with you.
By the way, you're just as heartstrong and you're awesome too. So
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you. And I want to make sure that you do this. Start at least with the Trauma Informed Educator program, and then you'll get hooked and want to go on to the rest. But at least start with that, because that will change your whole way of thinking. So please do that. And if you want to contact me, you're more than welcome to contact me at Laura Collin at shaw.ca. So that's LAURACOLLIN @shaw.ca. So give
Awesome.
me a call and I'll chat with you too. And you can get more information on how I feel about the program.
All right.
And
And do you
find
have
me
a
as a parent.
website or Instagram or anything where people can find you
I
online?
don't right now. I'm in the midst of doing it, but it's been a really busy spring. So
Oh, well, and listen, folks, that's pretty good news that she's already got business coming in and she doesn't even have a website up yet. So this is the thing, like this is a really in-demand topic. So don't let the business part of it scare you away. I think a lot of people are,
not at all.
I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do technology. You don't have to know any of that to
No,
get the word out about what you're doing, because people are looking for help. And if they're looking for help and you have some solutions, that's a business right there. So
absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, Laura, thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best and we will keep in touch. All right. Thanks for
We'll
being
talk
here today.
soon.
All righty.
Bye.